Ooh.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is marriage
Ooh.
night. Hey, everybody, welcome to marriage, marriage,
Marriage.
marriage night.
Your
And
wickedness.
man, we're thrilled to spend the next hour with you and with your spouse. We got a great night lined up for you. If we have not said hello in the chat, now's the time. So,
Yes.
in fact, if you want to make the most of marriage night, just get you a nice blanket, cuddle up on the couch,
Yeah.
and chat with us. All right, that's the way to make the most of marriage night. Say hello over in the chat. Tell us where you're joining us from. Maybe tell us what's your cold beverage of choice? Look what I got for us, babe.
Oh.
Get your drink. We'll cheers
so
it up.
fancy.
Look at this. Do you see it? Love. So tell us what you're
with our dollar store cups. We love it.
Oh man, I have been preparing all day for marriage night. I've decorated the house.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it behind us? Do you see it?
Yes.
Is my decorations. I did it. Now pull over the balloons. I don't want them to miss it because they're a little out of the shot. But I want you to. Can you get them? I want you to feel the love. All right. You see the balloon? This is how you say love, fellas. All right. You pull out all the stops. You get the dollar store plastic cups. You get the cheesy hearts and heart balloons, and you cuddle up close with your girl, and you celebrate marriage. And that's what we're going to be doing.
You're just going all out.
All out.
I appreciate that. 20-some years of marriage, and
you don't even know how many. She said some because she lost count, y'all. Now that's a fact.
No.
She did say some because she can't. No, it doesn't count. Hey,
24.
Almost.
Yes, almost.
We're really thrilled. So many of you are joining us tonight for marriage night. I promise you, we got a great time ahead of us. We'll be together for about an hour. And again, the way to make the most of this hour and to make the most of it for your marriage is to chat with us. We're gonna have some fun together. We're gonna play a game together to help you have a great time as a little online date night tonight. And then we're going to bring in some of our favorite friends, some of the favorite couples in our lives, and let them share some with you. And then we're going to end our time together by actually doing a little Q&A.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I love it too. A little marriage Q&A. And so that's why you want to chat, because not only do you want to interact and have a good time with some other people, but listen, the other thing you want to do is you want to ask some great questions. And you can start right now, and they can be anything. They can be personal, they can be funny, they can be difficult, they can be easy, they can be hey, what's Stu's hair product? That could be that. You don't care. You don't care. Or it could be something about a challenge in marriage, or how we would address something, or how we've walked through different things in our marriage as well. So all of that is available to you tonight right there in the chat. You can go ahead and start asking the questions. Our very good friend Tiana and Max, they're on tonight, and Tiana, our executive director of programming and worship, she is going to be joining us at the very end, having collected all of your questions, and she'll ask them on your behalf. So make sure you're throwing on. Hey, I see some wonderful single people joining us even tonight. And single people, you are welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to join us. I saw a question pop up, and I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to try not to laugh. It's a great question, but it is going to be the question of the night. And I promise you that, from Jesse Hendricks, which is talking about how we communicate effectively. And Tabitha's shaking her head because we don't.
We can learn in that area, just like everyone else.
Hey, we're going to do our best to answer that question and a whole bunch of others. So again, if you've got a question, throw it out there. I'm seeing single women on the chat, but if there's a single dude out there, hey, this is the time. If you're married and you got a single dude who's a friend of yours, say jump on, because there's single women on here too. Perfect. And we'll do matchmaker at the end of the night too if we have to.
We're better than those websites. Better.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. Well, oh man, we got some 25 years, 24 years celebrating, 20 years. I see a 7 years starting in August. That's pretty awesome. as well. So 39 years. Did you see that one? 39 years
that.
coming in May, 5 years. Oh, newlyweds. 5. Remember 5 years?
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a
long
lot.
time ago. I feel
We had a lot going on. 5 years. 40 years. That might be the winner, everybody.
Yeah.
40 years? Wow. That is absolutely incredible. Well, I hope you've locked the kids away. I hope you got a Disney movie on. I hope you grabbed a cold beverage. I hope you are cuddled up with your spouse and ready to spend the next hour together. For those of you just jumping on, listen, here's our plan tonight. We're gonna celebrate marriage. We're gonna make much of your marriage, whether you realize it or not. God is all about your marriage, and we are too. I just feel like one of our missions in our ministry and in our life is to celebrate, to help, to encourage, to inspire, to challenge marriage, and to hold it in high regard, hold it in high value. And so we're going to be doing that tonight for about an hour together. We're going to invite some of our friends to join us to help us do that. And then at the end of the night, all of your questions, every single one of them, we'll do our best to try to answer for you tonight. But we're going to get started with a little fun. Oh, by the way, before we're done tonight, do not let me forget this. All right. Do not let me forget it. Before we're done tonight, we're going to pray over every single marriage. And so you'll want to stay on till the very end, right about 8:00 Eastern Standard Time tonight, if you're watching this live. And we're going to pray for your marriages. And I believe God might heal some marriages tonight and strengthen and renew some marriages. And we believe that's possible. Yeah. Hey, this is all a part of our series we've been in. You know about our series?
I love our series.
It's called KISS, and it's called Keep It Simple, Stupid. Keep it simple, stupid, which is just a fun little way to say, don't make it so complicated. And marriage is complicated, and marriage is difficult, and marriage is hard. And we don't do it any favors because we make it more challenging and more difficult. And so in our series, we're actually learning to keep relationships simple, not just marriage, but every relationship you have. And I taught you last week to put down the magnifying glass, pick up the magnifying mirror, to look at yourself in the mirror.
So good.
So challenging.
So challenging, convicting, all those things.
This week, I got another good one for you. Yeah. And the following week, even a better one for you. And the last week of the series, I'm teaching on the question I laughed at earlier, which is communication. I'm teaching on it the last week of the series. Why are you holding it to the last week of the series, Pastor? Because I got a lot of work I got to do on it between now and then. Hey, thanks for the shout out on the shirt. Somebody liked my shirt.
I like your shirt.
Tabitha bought it for me.
Yeah.
And
the kids not so much.
The kids don't like it.
No. I like it though.
Why? They don't want their dad to look cool and hip?
No.
I guess not. Hey, we're going to play a little game. And, we love to have fun. And one of the things I think that's helped our marriage has been, we like to have fun together. We love competition. We love, not necessarily with each other, because
against each other. We don't do
not against each other, because both of us are very competitive. And one of us in particular is a very sore loser. That one. She is don't let her lie to you. She's a ridiculously bad loser. And so if I win, then she's mad. And she talks trash. She talks a lot of trash. I know you guys don't believe that about her, but she talks a lot of trash.
Don't believe him.
And so one of the things that we enjoy doing a lot is playing games. We have a lot of fun with each other, and not just with each other, with our kids. We have raised some competitive children because we play games all the time. And we love to play with our friends and other couples as well. We've got some card games that we absolutely love playing with. And so that really is so much fun for us. So we wanted to start with a game for each of you. And this is a little game we're calling Would You Rather. All right. Would You Rather. And it's marriage edition. So it's for couples. All right. So I know we got some single people joining us. My friends who are single, you can laugh along at these questions. You can answer them, but you're not in on the competition because you got to have a mate. All right. In order to answer the questions. And so here's how it's going to work. right there on the couch or at the kitchen table, wherever you're at with your honey, I want you to take one hand, put it behind your back, put one hand behind your back. All right. And I'm going to give you a 1 or a 2 answer. Would you rather 1 or 2? And then when I count to 3, you're going to pull out and you're going to show 1 or 2. If you match, you give yourself a point. If you don't match, obviously you don't get a point. Now, you got to keep your own score. All right. And at the end of our time, we're going to ask you to put in the chat how many you got right. And for everybody who matched the most, at the end of the night, we'll celebrate you before we pray together. So that's why chatting is going to be so important. All right. So you get a point for matching, but don't try to match. Be honest. All right. Come on. You got to be honest. This is would you rather marriage edition.
Oh,
okay. Hand behind your back, everybody. Hand behind your back. Here we go. Would you rather 1, have a date in, or 2, have a date out? 1, date in, 2, date out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Hey, we matched. All right. So if you matched, then you get a point. Keep our score. All right. That's 1. That's 1. Here we go. You ready? Number 2. Would you rather 1, cuddle, 2, kiss? 1, cuddle, 2, kiss. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Hey, we're matching. That's 2. We're up to 2. You like kissing that much? I didn't. Sometimes I didn't.
Cuddling.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here you go. Hands behind your back, y'all. Having fun? Here we go. Let's go. 1 or 2. Would you rather 1, cook together, or 2, get takeout? Cook together is 1. Get takeout is 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Show. 2s. We're on a roll. 3. All right. We're up to 3. 3. I don't know if you're doing better than us, but we'll see if you match or not. All right, here we go. Number 4. Would you rather watch the sun set or watch the sun rise? Watch the sun set is 1. Watch the sun rise is 2.
I think we're gonna disagree on
1
this one.
is sunset. 2 is sunrise. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And I knew we would miss it on that one, right? Yeah, I'm a sunrise guy. She's a late night girl. All right, here we go. Would you rather 1, go to the beach, or 2, go to the mountains? Go to the beach. 1, go to the mountains. 2. Beach is 1, mountains are 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3, show. And I don't know. I just think water. I'm going water. We're on a downward. We're not doing real good. We're not doing. Are you keeping our score? I don't know.
3.
Okay, we're on number 7, y'all.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. I don't know
yeah. We missed 3. Oh, I missed 1. No,
yeah,
we're on number 6.
Okay.
Here's number 6. Here's number 6. Would you rather 1, have more time, or 2, have more money? 1, have more time, or 2, have more money? 1, 2, 3, go. I knew we'd miss that one too. Okay. Oh, somebody said sunsets at Lake Gaston, and we love Lake Gaston. Don't tease us. Don't tease us with Lake Gaston.
Yeah, no beach, no mountain. Yeah. I'll take the lake.
Absolutely. Okay,
yeah.
You're gonna all love this one. Here we go. Hands behind your back. This is number 7. Would you rather, put your hand behind your back. Would you rather spend a day 1 with your mother, or 2 with your mother-in-law? Oh, ready? 1 with your mother. I hope neither are watching. 1 with your mother, or 2 with your mother-in-law. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, show. We did match, at least on that one. So
You're joking.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Number 8. Would you? Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Would you rather 1, know every secret your spouse has, or 2, have some secrets that are better left unsaid? 1, know every secret that your spouse has, or 2, have some secrets that are better left unsaid. 3, 2, 1, show. Come on.
I knew which one you were.
We're fading fast, y'all. We are fading fast over here. Okay, number 9. I like this one. Number 9.
All right.
This is a good one given our recent pandemic and all that we've been facing. All right, you ready? Number 9. Would you rather be a millionaire, but have to buy the thinnest brand of toilet paper? We actually picked this one for some friends of ours. Okay, so here we go. Would you rather 1, be a millionaire and you have to buy the thinnest brand of toilet paper, or 2, have just enough money to get by in life, but have the best toilet paper they make? Come on, which is it? Which is it? 1, thin toilet paper, but lots of money, or 2, great toilet paper, but a little bit of money? What do you say? 3, 2, 1, show it. I knew you were going to say it. I knew it. Oh.
Come on.
Look, there's someone.
Come on.
Hey, what are we up to right now? We're only at 4, I
We
think.
got 4.
Okay,
So
there's one more.
us.
There's one. I only see 5s. Oh man, listen, you're right about that one with the teens. The teens, Jenny Adams says thin paper keeps teens from clogging, and teens will clog it. I know, that's true. Somebody says you could buy a bidet. If you got a lot of money, you could buy a bidet. I've never used a bidet. Come on, Brooke and Steve.
She works at Ferguson. That's why.
That's why.
She knows.
Brooke and Steve Bolton says 7 out of 9.
Wow.
Those jokers, they are older than us.
They know what they are.
Y'all been married longer than us. I love it. How long you been married, Steve and Brooke? How long? I want to know. Tell us. Super Dave says 7. They're at 7 too. They haven't been married that long. They're young. Yeah. Boltman's. I'm looking at all the Murray's been married. They're at 8. Okay. Yeah. Well, we got some people coming in. Clutch. Coming in for
Guy and Claire said that was their first.
That's
event.
Unbelievable, Guy and Claire. All the Karen and Michael. Oh my goodness gracious. So listen, y'all got some crazy stuff going on here. 27 years, Brooke and Steve. That's amazing. Okay, so cool. Here we go. We're going for the last one. If you're not following in the comments, y'all don't know what you're missing. I mean, now we've gotten into bad potty humor. I don't know. Okay, this is married people humor here. All right, just married people humor. If you got kids in the room, send them away. I'm just warning you. I'm warning you. Okay, this is the last question. Question number 10. All right, question number 10. And we've been married a long time, but I don't know what you're going to say about this one. I think I do, but I'm not exactly sure. So I'm just going to, you just answer for you. Don't try to match. Don't be cheating over there, Boltons. All right, don't be cheating. Would you rather? I'm almost embarrassed to answer this one on live TV here. Okay. Would you rather make whoopee? That's what they say on the newlywed game. Yeah. Would you rather make whoopee in the morning, 1, or whoopee in the evening, 2? Everybody understand what I mean by that? Do I have to explain anything to anybody? All right. Whoopee in the morning is 1. Whoopee in the evening is 2. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready, everybody? 3, 2, 1, show. I'm going 1 and 2. Barb Murray, don't listen. We don't need to know. Yeah. But I'm curious. How'd you do? Erica. Oh, Jacob Lambert. Yeah, Jacob's our student director asking great questions here. That's fantastic. How'd you do? I see Pastor Matt and Season Hoover 7 for 10. Not bad. I see a 9 out of 10. Now I see.
Eric,
come
well
on,
done, Eric.
Come on. How we doing, everybody? Did we get anybody 10 out of 10? 10 out of 10. Kendall, please stop. We don't need to know. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, do we have? I see a lot of 9 out of 10s.
You guys did so good.
Barb and Jack, 9 out of 10. Oh my
Gary
goodness.
Got 10 out of 10.
Oh, the Dominic says. Oh man, our good friends Jennifer and Mike got 2 out of 10. Okay, so here's a great question. If you got 10 out of 10, we want to know it. All right, along with Karen and Mike Dominique, put it in the chat. If you got less than our friends Mike and Jennifer, who only got 2 out of 10, we want to know that too. Did anybody do worse? Because we're lining up free marriage counseling. All right, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you help. 2 out of 10, and Claire answered 0 on the last one. That was not an option, ladies. All right.
Listen, the people who got 10 out of 10 had to counsel the people who got the 2 out of 10. That's
unbelievable. 0 was not an option. I'm just gonna say it was 1 or 2 or both. All right. So, oh man, Sam and Rickster didn't do too hot there. 3 out of 10. That's not so great. Oh my goodness.
Y'all did so good.
Well, listen, we're having a great time. It is marriage night, and we just believe marriage should be celebrated. It should be valued. It should be honored. It should be lifted high. And the fact that tonight you've snuggled up on the couch to to honor marriage, to spend time improving your marriage. It just says so much about your dedication, your commitment. And gosh, I really do hope that by the end of our hour together, you just feel closer to each other and you recognize that, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It is work sometimes. Yeah. If you think it should be easy, if you've ever looked and you're like, it should be easier than this, you don't understand marriage. You don't understand the purpose of marriage. You don't understand what marriage is for. Do you know that your spouse, their role is not to bring you happiness. Their role is not to bring you joy. Their role is to actually help you conform more to the image of Jesus. Yeah. Did you know that? And the harder it is in your relationship, the more challenging it feels sometimes. Do you know what conforms you the most to Jesus? Difficulty, challenge. Yeah, that's what it is. So if you're looking at your wife or your husband, you're like, my gosh, she is difficult to live with. He is hard to love sometimes. Yeah. Know what? Then marriage is working. Yeah. Then it's doing its job in your life. And certainly there are moments of joy. There are moments of thrill. There are moments of happiness and adventure and excitement and all of that. But there are times where it's tough, and the hard times are what make a marriage great. So don't despise those difficult, challenging moments. Well, listen, we've had a lot of fun. And we're gonna come back around to celebrate. If you got 10 out of 10, we want to know it. Or if you got less than 2, even if you got 2 out of 10, we want to know, so we can laugh with you a little bit tonight, because laughing with each other sure is fun. Well, we promised tonight to bring on some of our friends and just some model marriages, some couples that, gosh, when you're looking around our church and you're like, who should we look to figure this thing out? Or when there's a challenge in your marriage and you're like, who could we go to for prayer, for support, for counsel, for guidance? Do you know the best people to go to? I'll just tell you, it's your campus pastors. We have, I just think, the most incredible campus pastor teams literally on the planet. Tab and I just feel so incredibly blessed by the husband-wife duos that we get to do ministry with. They're the best of the best. And I've been trying to think, how in the world how do we bring them in tonight to ask them some questions. So here's what I decided we would do. We'll start with the most recent married and work our way all the way up to the couple that has the longest tenured marriage. All right. So that means we get to start with campus pastors Eddie and Molly Antle from our Williamsburg campus. They're joining us now. Hey, look at you guys. How long have y'all been married, by the way?
7 years this year.
Wow. 7 years. I had the privilege of performing Molly and Eddie's ceremony, and it was gorgeous. It was incredible. So and it was like straight out of, it was like, I was going to say straight out of Christian TV. I mean, it was like, Jesus at the center. Let's sing some worship songs. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But I will say this, I don't travel for weddings. I just don't do it. It takes a lot out of me. I don't like driving long distances. And I drove a long time in the middle of nowhere to Molly and Eddie's wedding. Where did you guys get married?
It was in Spring Grove, Virginia.
Yeah, like 2 hours away or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like an hour and a half, somewhere in there.
Yeah. That's because you were excited to get there and you were getting married. For all the rest of us, it felt like 2 hours. All right, I'll tell you. But that was a long time ago, and here we are, three children later. Well, one in the belly and 2 locked away somewhere in another room right now.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you can't hear them. Bedtime, so they're screaming a little bit.
Yeah. Just shut the door. Just shut the door. That's the best parenting advice I was ever given as a parent. Remember that phone call? I mean, we were having a total meltdown moment when our first kid, Braden, who would not sleep, and I called a mentor of mine, a pastor mentor of mine, and I was just like, what do we do? He said, turn off the monitor and shut the door. And that's what we did. And we slept so great that night. And the next day he was fine. Didn't bother him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
This
isn't
parenting. This is marriage. This is really marriage. Okay, let's start with an easy question. I want to ask you guys an easy question. You're local kids. Y'all been here for. I mean, Eddie's been here since high school, and Molly, you came here right after college. So you guys have been around this area a long time. You live in Williamsburg now, but you did live in Hampton. You, Molly, you work in York County, so you guys have kind of seen it all. Been around this area. Give us the best local date. Give some date advice here. Where do you go?
That's good. So if we were still living in Newport News, we'd say go to Venture, because their tater tots are not even tater tots.
It's Hampton.
I know. That area, that up downtown peninsula area is Venture. Their tater tots are the biggest chunks of tater tots you ever seen, and just phenomenal. Yeah. In Williamsburg, we'd go Precarious, and they have a taco truck inside this place. What? And but they also have all the arcade games like skee ball and pinball, air hockey that I always lose at. And
it's the only game I can win at consistently.
So that's a really fun. That's in Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Never been there.
That's really fun. Yeah. So you guys do a fair amount. I know this. You're competitive people. How has competition factored into your marriage? Positive or negative?
Both.
Who's winning? Who's winning the competitions?
I don't know.
Everything. So I just have to be mentally prepared to lose before we start playing, because it's very, very rare that I win.
Unless we're playing air hockey.
Or skee ball, I've got a chance.
That's true.
So.
It's true.
I love it. You two are incredibly competitive. Well, let me ask you guys this question. Like, is there one marriage tip that maybe you received throughout your marriage, or maybe you're like, man, I wish somebody would have given it to us. This piece of marriage advice that you would offer to other couples tonight on marriage night.
Yeah. Molly said, Eddie, you're going to explain this answer. So I think it was in premarital counseling with you, Pastor. And I think we also got it. We took out an older couple before we got married, just kind of get their investment right. And so we took out Hazel and Don Todd from way back when. And I think both of you mentioned two words, and those two words are microwave and slow cooker. Microwave and crock pot.
Yeah.
And I'll let everybody kind of figure out how that relates. But that advice going forward and forever is just, that's great. You're not red. You're doing pretty good.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Are you suggesting you're suggesting you're not gonna explain that? You're just gonna leave it hanging out there for everybody to figure out?
I mean, if we're okay.
Hold up, Emily. You don't see the chat, but Emily Mitchell says the more modern version now is Instant Pot and air fryer.
Oh goodness.
That's funny. So microwave and crock pot, talk about making whoopee. The females are generally more like crock pots, and they take a long time to warm up. But the men generally are like microwaves. You get 30 seconds and done.
Wow. Here we go, everybody. My goodness gracious. Yes. We're just swinging for the fences right now.
That's
what the newlywed language. It's whoopee and microwaves. It's fine.
That's so good. That's exactly right. The newliest married couples. This is what they talk about.
I love it.
I love it too.
I don't know what you wanted. I don't know what you wanted there, but
that was good. I don't know either.
That was the same advice we got for our marriage counseling also. So we passed on that as well.
Okay. All right. Listen, we got to bring in another couple, but Molly, I want you to jump in. This is a question I did not give you a heads up on. All right.
Oh, great.
So here we go. So this is it for you. What is one way that your husband shows you love that fills your tank? Because we need some practical ideas, and I know Eddie's really good at this. So tell us one way.
Yeah. So more recently, it's just him helping out around the house without me asking, and he doesn't complain and he doesn't ask for praise. He just is easy, quick to step up to the plate to help me out, especially being pregnant with number 3. And it's been a really hard pregnancy on me. So he has just really stepped up to the plate in helping me with the kids and helping clean the house and get dinner ready, things like that. So
I could just add one practical thing that she's told me that she really appreciates is often we'll ask the question of each other, how can I love you better? How can I love you better? And generally that gives a great answer. Great answer.
So you say, how can I love you better? And she says, empty the dishwasher. And you're like, own it. Own it.
That's all the dishes, all of them.
Okay. All right. Listen, you can't make us all look that bad, Eddie. All right. Listen, hey, if you want to connect with Eddie and Molly, Williamsburg campus, that's where you find them each and every Sunday, and making a difference, changing the way people think in Williamsburg about church. And we love you guys. We're grateful for you.
Yeah.
Love you too.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to invite in Matt and Season Hooba, the Hoovas. Did you like that introduction?
We're here.
Pastor Matt, next time you preach, that's how I'm going to introduce you.
It never turns out right because you think people are booing you. Trust me, when I used to play high school football, when I would get a play, they'd be like, "Hoo!" But it sounded like people were booing me. So it had the adverse effect. Please do not let me relive my high school days.
Oh, no.
Okay, we won't. Okay, I'll come up with something better. I'll definitely come up with something better. Well, Pastor Matt and Season lead at our Newport News campus and also provide direction and leadership for our brand new online community, which is exploding literally all over the world. I know we got a bunch of WEC online family joining us tonight as well. And you guys have had such an adventure in your marriage. Right? Such an adventure. And I don't know, this might make you tear up, but think about I don't know, I didn't ask you to think about this. How many moves have you guys made since being married in such a short time? How many years you've been married with how many moves?
13 years. We started in California, moved to Texas, moved to Idaho, and then now here to Virginia. So 4 major cross-country moves.
Oh my.
And probably a couple houses in each of those, right?
And 4 children later. Yeah. And so and each one of those trips, we had an extra kid with us. The first one, no kids. Second one, 2 kids. Third one, 3 kids. Fourth, and then we got 4 kids. It's crazy.
We're not moving.
Hey,
yeah, we're not moving again anytime soon. And for all those out there who helped us move this last time, thank y'all very much. I appreciate that.
Listen, Molly and Eddie can tell you what causes all those kids. We just had a conversation with them about that. Okay. But my goodness, well, we're going to hold on to you. Okay. We're not letting you go. We're really grateful that God brought you here. What would you guys say has made your marriage successful? If you were to think about just boiling it down to one point, one topic, what would you say has made your marriage successful?
Well, I think the quick answer is God's grace. You know,
yeah.
like just a lot of God's grace and us extending grace to one another. But I think if I could distill it down to like 1 or maybe 2 words, it would be intentionality and work. Intentionality and work. If you just approach your relationships kind of haphazardly, kind of with a whatever happens, guess what's going to happen? Bad stuff's going to happen, and your relationship's not going to be very strong, and it's probably not going to last. But you've got to put work into it, and you got to be intentional about that work.
Yeah.
What would you say, my dear?
I would say cheer each other on, be each other's biggest cheerleader, because the world is definitely telling you everything you're not and areas you're failing. So just to know that you have someone in your corner that believes the best in you and believes you can do it. That's super important.
So good.
So great. So great. I know one of the questions that we all answered as we were leading into this week on social media was kind of a tough question to have to think about. Was, you know, what year was the toughest in your marriage? That was one of the questions. And so I think it's important that we all recognize, gosh, we all had difficult, challenging seasons. Talk to us about how and maybe it's that specific year, or maybe it's the fight you had 2 days ago. I don't know if you had a fight 2 days ago.
How'd you know about that?
How do you work through that? What is it that gets you through either a tough season or even just a tough day or a tough battle?
Jeez. You want to lead off for this one?
Yeah, I think you just have to be committed to keep showing up. So it's messy and it's hard and feelings get hurt. But I think just continuing to realize that this is the most important relationship outside of God in your entire life. And if you want to go the long haul and you want to have a legacy that you're passing on to your kids, an example for others, you have to choose to keep showing up every single day and be committed to working through and doing the work that it takes to make it successful. So, I mean, probably our first year was the most difficult, which is probably a common story. You're walking in with a lot of preconceived ideas of what it's going to be, and reality hits you pretty quick. But I think once you do work through those and continue to show up, it shows you that while we walk through this, we can go through whatever's coming next, and it builds a sense of longevity, I think.
So good. So
whatever
good.
you just said, yes.
My
100%.
goodness. I'm going to tell you what, I will fund it. And I think the campus pastor wives and Tabitha should just write a relationship.
Yes.
Between Molly and you, Season. So wise and so good. Keep showing up. I think that is such a powerful word. Okay, last quick question for you. We had a lot of fun with Molly and Eddie asking about local date places. Okay, and you guys y'all don't have the longevity of being here for a long time. And most of the time you've been here, there's been like little babies or like one on the way. Like there's been like you guys have had a tough time maybe getting out and finding those local date places. So what about a couple who's got little kids and a very stressful, little windows of time? Give me your favorite date.
In a tight budget, we've got a great idea.
Yeah, so we've been very frugal throughout our entire marriage, always looking for creative and fun ways to make a memorable date night. So we'll typically find a restaurant. That's kind of typical. We'll go get something to eat.
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse is kind of like our go-to, and we always ask for extra bread, and so we can eat on it for the next couple of days. But our immediate, so I mean, I don't know, but then we'll drive around trying to figure out what we want to do with ourselves. But inevitably, what will happen is we will end up at Target, and what we'll do is Stu knows. This is a real thing. And so we'll end up at Target, and we will play this game where we'll have like a topic, and we'll give each other a budget and a timeline, and we'll go out in the store and we'll go buy something for each other on that specific topic. It's really fun. Wow. We open them in the parking lot, and we have a lot of fun. And sometimes we even shed tears because they've been such perfect little gifts that you wouldn't think to buy, but because we gave each other a topic and something to think about and shared a little story with it, it's always led to a really, really fun and memorable night.
Come on with your practical idea. I absolutely love it. Great job. Hey, Pastor Matt, I know you really appreciated my my decor. So if you want to borrow it for Valentine's Day next year, call me. All right. Call me. Hey, it's been great to have you guys on. If you're looking for how to connect with Pastor Matt and Season, you can find them at the Newport News campus. And so often you can find Pastor Matt online as well. So check them out there. Thanks, guys, for being a part of tonight's Mayor's Night. We love you.
Love you guys.
We're coming around the corner to the wisest of the wise. Pastors Ben and Carol and Carr. My goodness.
What's up? How you guys doing?
We had to get the young bucks out of the way. Now we're going for longevity, right?
Oh my goodness.
For the longevity and the wisdom. You guys, are you the same? Are you 24 like us?
We'll be 25 this August. Yeah,
that's right. By a little bit.
You got us beat.
Yeah.
You got us beat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As the tenured pastoral couple at Water's Edge Church, because you guys have the prize. You guys have the longevity. Give us the best marriage advice you were ever given. The best marriage advice you were ever given.
You want to go ahead? Or you want me to? You go ahead.
I think my parents were huge on, you have different seasons in your life, but when our kids were little, they always told us, make sure you plan a date night. make sure you have a night that it's just y'all. And because the kids will be gone when they're 18 and you're still left with a husband that you need to know.
Wow.
And so they always told us, like, make sure that your spouse is the priority, not the kids. And so we've always, and now the kids are older, so we can do whatever we want, but we always had a date night planned.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's important, is just considering each other. The best counsel is, your spouse should be your best friend. And I think the counsel out there, everybody watching is the person that you're with tonight, if you're married, should be your best friend. And we're best friends. And not only are we married, but we been through a lot. But maybe the best counsel would be probably more what you said than I said, I would say. Let's go with that.
Hey, how do you do that? Because there are probably a lot of couples who are like, well, that's great for, you guys, y'all have so much in common. And look, you even wear colored matching shirts. You both have grays, I'm a lot of blah, 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 there people.
I can take it off. I can take it off.
Afterwards, you got another 10, 15 minutes to hold up. So, listen, what would you say is the key? Because maybe some couples are like, well, we're not best friends and we don't share a lot in common. And it's hard, because of that. How do you make that a priority?
Yeah, I think for me, Pastor Stu, that's a great question. Back in 2010 to 2012, we were married, like 12 or 13 years, I think, at that time. And maybe longer than I can't keep track. But I had to go get counseling as a pastor and as a dad of some ways that I could communicate better. And there was nothing really going on in our marriage. It's just better ways that we could communicate to each other, to put each other first. And I think those couples out there watching that don't have a whole lot in common and they really don't consider themselves best friends, is maybe get some counsel of asking other people what you could do better in your marriage to become that. I don't think you just accept it and you move on. I think you work on ways how you can become better as a couple. And I think the 2 years we did counseling together just on that topic of communication saved me a lot of arguments, saved me a lot of distress and raising kids and being in ministry life. It's just it saved me so much by saying, you know what, I'm going to get some counseling on how to be a better dad, a better husband, because I know if I do it now, it's going to build even a stronger foundation in the future. So the counsel would be, man, if you need some help in your marriage, which we all do, is go ask somebody.
Wow, that's so.
I also think that you got to come into marriage that it's not about you.
Yeah.
And when you put that person, you've got God, and then you've got your spouse. And when you put their needs before your own, and what would make Ben happy? I might want to stay in tonight, but I know he wants to go out. Like, okay, I'm going to go out. It's worth it to me. So that builds that closeness too. When you're thinking about somebody else besides yourself, it's not all about me and what I want.
Yeah.
Wow. So great. So great. Hey, remember everybody, we're going to come back around in about 3 or 4 minutes. We're going to answer all your questions. So you know, a bunch of you have been putting them in the chat. Finish it out now. All right. Ask all your questions. I'm going to ask Pastor Ben and Carolyn one more question that I think is so important because the pandemic has been tough on relationships. And you guys know that better than anybody. As you lead our largest campus, Pastor Ben, you've spent a lot of time working with depression, working with couples that are struggling in their marriage, with families that are struggling with their kids. You've walked that challenging road. It's been difficult. And I know one of the stories of your longevity of 25 years in marriage has been, you guys have had some highs and some lows. I'm not talking about relationally, but just in life. I know the story of infertility, which, Tabitha and I have struggled through as well, provided such a challenge relationally. And then, some highs and lows in ministry and with jobs and friendships and all those things. The pressure that gets in marriage can be so difficult sometimes. And I know a lot of people are feeling it with the pandemic. What would you say to a couple tonight who is like, man, we're feeling this external pressure in our relationship? What do we do about it?
Yeah. I think what you can do about it, if that's you, because that's been me, even 2020 for me as a pastor has been the most difficult year of my life. And if it's difficult for me and I feel like my faith is pretty strong, I feel like I got some good people around me, but like, I think if I've battled what I've battled, I know there's a lot of people out there battling. So all the dads out there listening that are married, I would challenge you that if you're feeling that external pressure, and it's probably that oppression of the world because you feel like just everything is isolated, everything is dark, everything is negative, everything is not going to work out. You feel like just nothing is going right in your life. My counsel to you as a dad, speaking to another dad, a man in the house, is going to be, you got to fight for joy. I read a book a long time ago is that you fight for joy when you don't desire God, when you don't have a desire to see God. You got to fight for something. Yeah. And that something is someone, which is God. And that book is all about finding joy in tribulations. And I think my counsel for not only the husband of the home, but a single parent out there, a single mom, if you're out there, my counsel to you would be, you know what? Don't give up. Fight for the joy that God can give you, because the world has nothing compared to the joy that's found deep in your walk, in your relationship with Christ. And it's important for you to recognize that it's not of this world. It's not of this kingdom. It's God's kingdom. We learned this a few weeks ago, is that we're citizens of the Most High, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and you're his. You're not the world's. And so claim the confidence, walk in the confidence that God has created you to walk in, whether you're married or a single parent just trying to get those kids to go to school or to get out of that depression. I mean, I tell you, I have counseled so many people this year, last year, of you name it, I've counseled them. And it's very, very difficult, but when they get help, they see God coming through. And that's my biggest challenge, because I feel like I've gone through it. So that would be my counsel to them.
I think also too, again, I'm probably beating a dead horse, but I think if you go and do something, volunteer, get it off of you, get the focus off of you. Yeah. Think about something else, volunteer. There's just other things that you can put your mind to that bring joy. Yeah.
So good. And so good. Well, guys, y'all are just so much wisdom, such a strong, just beacon of light for our church and our community. And oh man, we're so thankful for you. Hey, if you want to connect with Pastors Ben and Carolyn, the way to find them is on a Sunday, right there at Water's Edge, Yorktown, and truly making a difference there. We love you guys. So much wisdom. 25 years. Way to go.
Thank you guys
Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're bringing in Tiana, our executive director of programming and worship. She's going to wrap us up tonight with all kinds of fun questions. T, you having fun?
I am having fun. The chat has been very lively tonight.
Oh my goodness, I can imagine, especially when Pastor Eddie was on. I bet the chat was flying off the charts. Hey, did you see? Did anybody score less than our friends Mike and Jennifer? Anybody score less than 2 out of 10?
No, just the Dacknesses.
Okay, we're gonna help them. All right, don't worry about them. We're gonna help them, y'all.
Take care of them.
And anybody score as good as Karen and Mike Dominice? 10 out of 10.
They got it.
That's incredible. That's really, really remarkable. It's pretty awesome. Hey, T, I know you've been gathering a bunch of questions, and I just as you're preparing a few of those for us, I just want to highlight for our church really an understanding that our campus pastors and their spiritual leadership on our campuses, that they really are modeling the way for godly marriage. And I'm just so grateful for them. And I hope our church understands tonight that, we value marriage. We value your relationships. And that's why we're trying to pour as much as we can into them, even through tonight's marriage night. So, okay, put us on the hot seat. I give you permission. All right. We got a few minutes left. So what are some of the questions?
I'm going to give them a few more minutes to ask some more questions. I want to know from you guys, what's your favorite go-to date night?
Okay. You want to tell it?
You can tell it.
So, we did it today.
Yeah,
all
we
right.
did it today.
We got away today, and
a little Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So we love, this is weird for some people, maybe, I don't know, but for us, we love like dreaming about the future and about opportunities. And so we love to get in the car and just drive. We just love to drive. Sometimes I'd be like, where are you going? I'm like, I don't know. We just drive. And one of the things that we've always had a dream in our hearts for is waterfront. We want to live on the water sometime. The water does my soul good. So a lot of our dates will be driving around, like creeping on neighborhoods. Like we'll be creeping like on your neighborhood if you live on the water and you see my black Expedition drive down the road and you'll be like, ah. So today we drove to Kilmarnock. Y'all know where that is? Kilmarnock is like an hour away. It's beautiful. They got a lot of snow there today. Beautiful. And we had lunch at a little restaurant there. And we just dreamed. It was really fun. And we just drove there, talked the whole way, drove back, talked the whole way. We'd have to, worry about our phones and other things. And it was just uninterrupted fun time. So that for us is our favorite date.
I love that.
A big milkshake. You know those big milkshakes that are in style with the
$13.
you know how they're built up?
Oh yeah. At the yard in Virginia Beach.
Like that. There's a place there that had it and I made him get it.
$13.
Was it worth it though?
It's all about the experience, right, Tiana?
Oh, yes, I'm all about that place.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Tab. What flavor did you get, Sue?
We got a cookie dough something. I don't know.
Everything cookie dough.
It was $13. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's
That's so funny.
Hey, Nicole Powell's also looking at waterfront property. Well, look, don't take ours. All right, Nicole. Goodness gracious, I shouldn't have told where we went.
Emily Mitchell said, "Wait, you drove that far?"
I know. And look, I got about an hour limit in my. That's about all I got in me. But it's really the only way Tabitha gets full attention. Because it's hard for me to sit still if I'm just sitting here. And so it's a good way for me to focus in on attention.
Well, it's either that or Sam's Club. So
yeah, I do love Sam's Club too. That's a good date too.
Okay.
Especially if you get the free samples pre-COVID. All right.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, come on. What you got for us?
Okay. All right. So we have not had many questions, but I think the big one that we saw at the beginning, and it's probably a question for every relationship. How do you communicate effectively?
Yeah, that was one we laughed about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we literally are going to spend an entire week on this in week 4 of KISS series. We're going to keep communication simple, stupid. And so what I don't want to do is give all of the secrets because most of those are straight scripture, not from my own life. Tabitha always jokes on me and says, "You're good." No, she says, "You communicate for a living." This is what you say to me. You communicate for a living and you're good at it, right?
Yeah.
And then she says, "But why are you so bad at it at home?" And she's kind of right. In fact, our most recent fight, I'll tell you, our most recent fight was about communication. Yeah. All right. And here's how it went down. Okay. I came in from working. Okay. And it was a day, Tiana, we'd been in meetings for 8 hours on Zoom. You and I and a couple other people have been in meetings all day on Zoom. And I came in straight from an 8-hour meeting and Tabitha had something on her mind. She hadn't been in meetings. So she had something on her mind. She hadn't talked to people all day.
I hadn't talked to anybody.
So she was ready to talk to me. So she started talking to me. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just the way it was. All right. So she's talking to me and she asked me a question and I didn't answer immediately because I was thinking about what she was saying, but I was also tired of talking and I just didn't have an immediate answer. Right. Mm-hmm. And so my lack of response in that moment created a little tension. I'll say it, a little tension because I didn't communicate well. So go ahead. You want to talk about it at all?
I mean,
there's a little tension.
Yeah, a little tension. But here's the thing. When you have poor communication, it takes communication to work towards reconciliation.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We worked it out. And our biggest thing with communication is we work it out. And we're willing to even, put aside everything to make that the priority of the moment. I know that sometimes things are so heated, you might need a second. But for us, communication is best for us in our marriage to be handled right then and to deal with it and try to work through it. I will say this, if you are familiar with love languages, a lot of times when you feel like you're not communicating well, it's really probably one of the root causes is that your love tank isn't full. And so therefore communication seems short or you don't seem like you're on the same page because there's there's probably a bigger root going on there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. And here's the principle. I'll give it to you for 2 weeks from now for Sunday's KISS message. The principle is you always, in marriage and any relationship really, you communicate for the needs of the other person, not for your own. And so I often like to say things the way I like to say them, or communicate the way I want to communicate them. That's not how communication works best in marriage. It's for the needs of the other. And so I'll just recommend this. Right now, Tabitha and I are doing a study, a group. You know about groups at Water's Edge? Of course you do, right? So we're doing a group on communication. And you can't join our group now. We're 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. It's just too late to get in on it, y'all. But next round, look for a group on communication. And next round, there's a group like this right now happening, a group on Enneagrams. Some of you don't know about that. Tiana, you're all about the Enneagram. So if you can understand the wiring of your mate, you'll understand why they communicate the way they do, and you'll understand how to communicate more effectively to them. And so look for an Enneagram group or communication group, do it together, work on your communication. Don't give up on it. Don't go to bed angry. Don't walk away mad. And look, here's my advice on communication. Give tons of grace. Tons of grace.
Yeah. And then once, I feel like the more you understand your spouse's personality, it's easier to show grace because you're not frustrated that they're different. Then you're just like, oh, it would make sense that they would respond that way because that's how God made them. Like, it definitely makes it a lot easier. That's great.
That's right.
We actually have some questions about parenting. How do you kind of reconcile if you have different parenting styles?
Well, this is something I recommend to every young couple. If you're a young married couple without kids, here's my recommendation. Find an older couple with kids and spend a lot of time with them. Okay. Babysit their kids for free. Okay. You following me?
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time with another couple with kids. And we did that with a lot of people. I was in student ministry for a bunch of years when we first got married. And so we spent time with lots of families, which forced us early on, before we ever had kids, to have lots of conversations about parenting, which means that we were on the same page already. We read some books together about parenting. And again, it just forced conversation and communication about parenting topics. And that doesn't always solve everything. Now, I think when we're on a different page about parenting, we try to do really one of two things. In the moment, if a parenting decision has to be made, a parenting call, a disciplinary thing has to be made, and it's in the moment, then whoever's dealing with it does it. And the other person backs out and gives a lot of grace, even if that's not how they would deal with it. Even if it's not how they would deal with it, just give a lot of grace because, hey, you dealt with that in the moment and you had to.
Yeah.
In other scenarios, though, when you can have some time, when you can put the decision on pause, when you're working through something that needs to wait, then we actually make that a topic of conversation. In fact, the example I gave you, where I came in from Tab was dealing with a parenting issue, and she wanted to talk about it with me the moment I walked in the door, which is what we try to do. If there's something we're not quite sure how to handle, we try to talk about it to get on the same page. And so I would really encourage that, like, work through it together. And in the end, a united front wins the day.
Yeah.
So united in battle is always the key. Yeah. And so we just made a decision. Hey, even if one of us disagree, we're going to be united. Yeah. We're going to act like we agree, even if we disagree. And then we're going to pull aside and we're going to work through it together. And honestly, one's not stronger than the other.
No.
Parenting, it takes both.
Yeah.
And there are things that I'm good at with parenting, and there are things she's really good at parenting. And we have to work at it together.
Yeah. There are moments when I'm like, this is all you. And however you handle it, it's all you. And then there's moments when he'll walk in. I can remember a specific time when Taylor was throwing a fit in her bedroom.
This is when she was super little, y'all. Just by the way.
Little. And he came in and he's like, I can't do this. I tap out. I'm done. So I went in and handled it. But, and really, however I handled it, he knew that I would, that I would do the best there. But the other thing I think too is with that, I think goes with my kids know, and our kids know, that we don't keep secrets from each other.
Yeah.
So our kids can't play each other on us. So they're not going to daddy for this and going to mommy for this and that kind of thing. They know ahead of time, mommy and daddy talk about all the things and we tell each other everything. But I think the reason why that's really helpful is because then your kids don't try to put, because when your kids wind up putting you against each other, then you are against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So our kids know that we're a united front from the get-go. Hey,
can I add one more little thing? And we're about out of time, so we maybe have time for one more question.
Okay.
But I would just say this, that our kids know that our marriage is first and foremost, and that we're committed to it. And if you want to know the best thing for parenting, this is the best parenting advice I can give. Love your spouse. Love your spouse. That's the best parenting advice. And let your kids see it. Today, we went on this little date. Our kids are older, they're teenage and college. So we went on this little date, and this little date place we went to had a selfie station. And so we made out at the selfie station, took a picture, and then sent it to our kids because I want them to see me kissing their mother. I want them to know we love each other. And that's what I put in the little heading to my kids. I was like, your parents love each other. And nothing's better for kids than knowing that mom and dad are committed to each other.
Wow.
Okay, last thing. Come on, one more.
Okay, all right. This one might not be answered in a short amount of time.
Oh, gosh.
But I think it's a great question. What kind of boundaries protect your marriage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
We have a lot of boundaries.
A lot. We've learned these. The hard way sometimes. We've learned them through challenge, through difficulty. We've learned them. And particularly because of my role in ministry and as a pastor, we've been pretty dang strict. So I'll just go through a bunch of them. You can add in as we go. We share money. We don't have separate money. All right. We don't have separate passcodes. So it's like anything I have access to, Tabitha has access to. Anything that's hers, I have access to. So there's no like hidden things. I don't hide my phone from her. She doesn't hide her phone from me. Gosh.
I mean, little things. We don't spend time with the opposite sex. We don't text the opposite sex alone. I mean, those are things. I don't engage on social media with people of the opposite sex.
You had an ex-boyfriend, and there was nothing to this, but an ex-boyfriend on Facebook who wanted to befriend you. There was nothing to this. I think he's probably happily married and all that stuff. You felt so odd about it that you didn't even do it. And it wasn't, listen, and that's not because she didn't trust herself or I didn't trust her. It was none of that. It was, I want to protect my marriage at all costs. And so I'm going to put in healthy boundaries. We hold each other accountable in our spending. So we spend with boundaries because that creates such a tension in a lot of marriages. So we actually have a budget that we've agreed to in advance. And then we spend according to that budget and track. That's another healthy boundary relationally for us. Tabitha, it's not like she goes out with the girls a bunch and I go out with the guys a bunch. There are times where she might go out with a couple ladies that we're connected to and have dinner, but she ain't going out dancing. She ain't going out clubbing. She ain't going out drinking with the girls. And I'm not going out with the guys throwing back a bunch of beer. That's not how we roll. Yeah. And I don't think that's how you should roll in a marriage either. Because what you're doing is opening up your relationship to challenge it. You're making it more complicated, y'all. Just keep it simple. That doesn't mean you can't ever go out with the guys and watch a game at Buffalo Wild Wings. You can't ever go get pedicures with the girls and lunch. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying we act married when we do that. So one of the boundaries I would say is we never act single.
Yeah.
Because you're not. You're married. And so that would be a big one too.
Yeah. Those are really good.
Those are good.
Really great. Really wise. Thank you.
Those are good. I think that's one of the big things about boundaries is we don't do them because we don't trust each other. Yeah. I think sometimes that is the misnomer. It's I don't put boundaries in place because I don't trust Stu, and he doesn't put boundaries because he doesn't trust me. We put them in place to protect what could happen, or because all of when when things happen in your marriage, it starts with small things.
Little things.
Last year we talked about the little fox.
Yeah.
The little foxes, right?
Yeah, little foxes.
Little foxes.
Catch those little foxes.
Catch those little foxes. It starts with those little things. And so that's why we do it. We want to catch it before it happens.
Yeah.
And we're not so prideful to think that we are exempt from any of that. That's the thing. I mean, we're just trying to honor each other with some healthy boundaries. So
That's right.
I love that.
That's right. Guys, if you don't know Tiana and her stud of a man, Max, they are incredibly godly, incredible leaders at our church. Tiana is on our executive director team, which means she provides clarity and direction for our entire church and strategy. And if you love what happens on Sunday and what happens during the week with weekday content, it is all on Tiana's shoulders. And you guys do such an incredible job leading in our church. And I would say you can find them but they're all over the place. They're at every campus all the time. So you're likely to see them at some campus at some time. And if you run into them, you'll be better because of it, because they're just that incredible. T, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for
So
having
fun.
me.
We appreciate you so much.
Love you guys.
Before you jump off, listen, we want to just spend a moment in prayer with you and for your marriage. And if you're like, what do I do now? This has been so good for us tonight. Like, we've been together. We've been thinking about making our marriage stronger and better. What do we do now? Let me just give you a couple practical things that might really help you. Okay. Really help you. One is prioritize church together. And I know you think I'm saying that because I have some ulterior motive and I'm the preacher, so I have to say that. Nonsense. That's nonsense. Okay. For all of our married life, if you want to know the single thing, if you were to say, what is the single thing that has made your marriage what it is today? I would say the church. Yeah. Single thing. Yeah. Single number one greatest thing. And you want to know what will tear your marriage apart the most? Is skipping church. I just mean it, honestly. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you centered. It keeps you growing. It keeps you together. So don't skip church. Especially don't skip relationship series. Kiss. The next 2 weeks are going to be life-changing for you. So at 3 weeks, you absolutely don't want to miss it. We got 3 more weeks. You don't want to miss it for Kiss. Okay. It's going to be a great, great series. I would also say this, join a group, even together. There are times where couples groups don't work for you or your schedule, and maybe you got to do a group that's, just for women or just for men, and that's fine too. I don't have a problem with that. But if you really want to grow your marriage, at least one semester a year, be in a group together. Be in a group together. You know what that does? That puts you in church doing something spiritual every single Sunday, and in a group at least once a week doing something spiritual at least once a week. How can you not grow because of that? Come on, that's going to force you to grow. And then I would just offer you one more challenge, which would be volunteer together. I mean it. Volunteer together. Like find a team and volunteer. Go volunteer in 45 and start teaching kids. If you want to work on your marriage, volunteer together. All right. I'm just giving you some practical advice. Of course, there's some great books, some great resources, some great reading plans on YouVersion. These are all great things that you can do to build your marriage. And I really strongly encourage you to do it. All right. Well, I want to pray over your marriages and for your marriages. I'm so glad you've joined us tonight. We're a little longer than I hoped we would be, but come on and let's pray together. Do this. Hey, join hands with your spouse. All right. Snuggle up for a moment. And maybe you never pray with your spouse. This is your chance. All right. To pray with your spouse. Let me pray for you. Father, we love you and we're grateful for the relationships you've brought into our life. We believe that our marriages are a gift from you. We believe that the hand we hold is a gift from you to us. And God, we take that gift for granted way too often. So today we say thank you for the incredible gift of our spouse. God, we ask tonight that you would strengthen marriages, that you would protect marriages, that you would enrich and grow marriages. And God, that because of our commitment to marriage, we would watch you do great and mighty things through our marriages. God, I pray for healing for hurt marriages. God, I pray for restoration for broken marriages. God, I pray for strength for hurting marriages tonight, for peace, for marriages that are under attack. And God, ultimately, I pray that from tonight, marriages will be renewed. And I just ask God now that you would provide for every couple great conversation, great moments of laughter. God, maybe one of those would you rather questions would just bring great joy to their hearts as they wrap up our time together tonight, as they continue their date night and step into Valentine's weekend. I pray blessing over every single marriage. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Hey, we love you. It's been a great night. It's been so fun. The fastest hour and 8 minutes of your week were spent right here in Marriage Night. We'll see you on Sunday for Kiss Part 2. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Make your marriage great.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you.